Welcome back to My Mythical Meta, your gaming podcast that's actually your friendship podcast. My name is Travis, and I'm joined this week by my brother Benjamin.
Hello.
And my good friend Randy.
How's it going?
Finally not sick, Randy.
Woo.
We are so glad to see you.
Still a little
I know
bit, but...
that our viewers are glad to put a face to that sultry voice they've been hearing for a year now.
Sultry? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We've had clamoring fans saying,
That's
"Where's
right.
Randy? Where's Randy? Where's Randy?"
It's true. I hear it every day.
The clamoring fan is Benjamin's wife.
Right. Where's Randy?
All right. We are so glad to have Randy back. He's been out for a couple recordings now, but we're glad he's here. We're glad he's getting the video experience. This is going to be a fun one. This is officially, not counting all the news from the war fronts and not counting all the deck techs, this is officially episode 50 of My Mythical Meta.
5-0.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, guys. It's really exciting to me. Like, yes, we've been recording for over a year, and we've got all these side projects and the deck series and the news from the war fronts and the special news reports whenever something crazy happens in Commander, like has happened the past couple weeks. But this is officially episode 50 of My Mythical Meta. So, listeners, thank you guys for sticking with us. And have we got what I think is a really fun topic for you today?
Yeah. What is it?
All right. Today, we are going to talk about dice.
Woo!
That is what we... Yeah, that is our product at Eldorado Gaming. And we figured an episode about our dice, what makes them special, and why we got into the biz almost. Like, how we became dice goblins and how we know that that's an instinct that lots of people have. You know, we see it at cons all the time, and that's what we want to show off. We want to show off all of our fun dice today. And we had to wait until we had this video thing figured out so that we could put our dice on the camera so that you guys could see what we were talking about. Before we get to that, though, we have a shout-out for our number one patron, David.
Yeah.
David has been with us for over a year now?
Yeah, since the beginning.
Since the beginning. Since day one, David has been with us, you know, always asking questions, always talking with us and being a part of the My Mythical Meta community, meeting us at cons.
Yeah.
And this episode is for you. David, whenever you're ready to grow your dice hoard, come to us first.
That's
and
right.
You will get
20%
Yeah, go ahead,
off.
Benjamin. You got it.
Yes, you're going to get 20% off at EldoradoGaming.com, and that's for every patron. So if you become a patron, you get 20% off at EldoradoGaming.com. We'll send you a secret code, and some of the dice that we will talk about today, you can find there, and some of them you can't because they're not ready yet. But
Or some you can't because they're gone.
Yeah. Or because we don't sell
some
plastic
you can't
dice.
get because they're never coming back. We don't sell plastic. We only do metal. So that's what we're talking about today. Randy, what's the second perk?
Early and ad-free content.
Yeah,
No commercials, you know.
That's right. No commercials, no ads. It has been a lot of fun, you know, seeing the YouTube kind of pick up just in the last 2 weeks. We've been getting kind of this influx of views that came with our Commander commentary episodes.
Yeah.
And a lot more people found the channel in the past couple weeks. So
we're now at over 10,000
it won't be long.
views.
Yeah, we just reached 10,000 views on the channel. So that's very exciting. If you become a patron, you will not have to see any of the ads going on through YouTube. Don't forget also that you will have access to the My Mythical Meta Discord server. This is where we talk this is where we talk to our patrons and where we talk to each other about the games we're playing, and it's where we will be playing Martian Colony.
Which I just listened to the Martian Colony episode, and it got me fired up. We got to play soon.
Yeah, I'm very excited for those characters to see the light of day, to come to life, and to start that story. All right, like I said, today's topic is dice. What makes them special, and why you should get connected, and why you should create that emotional attachment to your dice, because it enhances your gaming experience. It is going to create this additional layer of emotional satisfaction whenever you are hanging out with your friends. And yes, we all know that it's silly. We all know that these are toys. I know that it's silly. Okay, but you buy in. You buy in, and it's fun, and you just lean into it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, is the emotional attachments that we've created with all of these polyhedrons. I wanted to start off by asking you guys, Ben and Randy, do you remember your first gaming dice that weren't just your 6-sided Monopoly dice?
Yeah. So mine were these ones to play World of Darkness Werewolf. They're just kind of like a granite looking kind of little thing.
Oh,
They're
it's almost like ivory, or is it supposed to be like bone or
no? Because it's
teeth?
It's too speckly. It looks just like countertop granite. It's just let's see, it's 10d10, and I still got the original little pouch it all came in with the little wolf skull on it.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
that
awesome.
was the very first set of dice that I bought. So I didn't have to borrow y'all's at D&D anymore. Or I mean, this was for Werewolf.
Yeah, but, and we were playing Mage a lot then, right?
Yeah.
Was that when we were doing my 7 Deadly Sins adventure?
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
That was a really, really good story you did.
Yeah. So Benjamin, you weren't here for this one, but
right.
I used characters from literature, and each of them represented one of the 7 deadly sins.
Ah, okay.
So they kind of had to explore this library in order to stop something from being resurrected.
Cool.
It was pretty cool.
So that was after I graduated. And
yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
Benjamin, do you have your first?
My first. Now I will say Travis ended up with all of my D&D dice whenever I graduated.
Hey Benjamin,
yes.
Quit clacking your dice together while we talk.
The goblin in him.
Yeah. That's what if you ever come to one of our conventions or whatever, I'm just doing that the whole time, but not with these, with the metal ones. But yes. So Travis has most of my D&D dice, but I have the D10s that I started with to play Mage. Mage was the first game that where I considered doing more than one shots. It's the first thing that I ever actually ran the campaign rather than just playing, and the first set of books that I actually bought. And D10s are so useful even for card games. They're good as counters. They're good as if you want to set life totals or whatever. And so there's the same style as Randy's, just the speckly granite looking in just different colors. Easy to see the numbers. Easy to keep track of stuff. That's the first.
Yeah, I always used my D10s when playing the Pokemon card game to mark my HP and to mark the damage I dealt. I actually still have my first gaming die. Now, when I bought it, it came with a D20 and a D10, and here's the D10, this kind of blue transparent D10, and it came with a D20 that was gray in the same style. But it never rolled higher than a 10. Ever. For years. We named it Jinx, and I eventually traded it to my friend Michael. I eventually just cleansed my hands of it. He said, I think it looks cool, and I said, you can have it. And we just traded D20s. And I don't remember which one, but I have the D10. So I even remember I was in the 5th grade, which is probably right when I started playing D&D in the Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from a Scholastic book fair.
Huh.
There was a Star Wars role-playing game that came in a big Darth Maul-shaped plastic cover. And it came with those 2 dice, a 20-sided and a 10-sided die. And I still have it. I still have my blue 10-sided die right here. And then, like the rest of them, I went from there to buying 10-sided dice in bulk. Pretty sure I probably got these from DNA Comics in Lake Jackson. It's no longer there, but that's back when we were playing Pokemon at the Brazos Mall and using these to play Mage. Pretty sure that was my second major set of dice.
Mm-hmm.
How did y'all's collections grow? Like, after you moved from your set of D10s, what did you get next?
So, other than the D10s, I think I had one basic set of D&D dice. You know, the set of 7 that they come with, and I basically just borrowed other people's when I played. Other than that, until once I started playing Magic, I bought. You can kind of see. So here's a bag of dice. You know, of course, they always come with the spin downs and stuff when you buy Magic sets. But you can probably see in here all these orange and purple ones. I started buying Chesic sets, the things that come in those big cubes, and I would just pull those out when I played and have dice everywhere. And that started it because I was like, well, I have Chesic sets. Let me buy a set of matching D&D dice. So you can see the purple Chesic sets that I added. Then I started adding the purple multi-sided dice, and then it just exploded, and now I've got tons
Sets like
and
this?
tons. Yeah, yep. And then I started doing Kickstarters. Couldn't help it. So this was a cool. I have a whole bunch of these. It's a candle holder, and then this is supposed to look like a little candle, but inside is a set of D&D dice, and they're more than you can. And so they're cool. They have little Cthulhu symbols on them, and you know, kind of go along. This is like a tentacle looking candle holder.
Oh, I love that. It's so cool.
I got a whole bunch of those. They come in little books. I'm going to advertise for another dice company here real quick. But they have little magnetic books, and then it just kept growing. I got sets of the One Ring dice, and I've got sets of with hollow. I mean, they're liquid core and all that. It just started exploding until I finally said, "Why am I buying them from other people?" And
yeah.
And do you have the hollow? The hollow, or not the hollow, the Quetzalcoatl dice, the original?
I do. These were Eldorado Gaming's first flagship dice. They were kind of the title. They were on the website, and
beautiful. Those are the
really
ones that got us
beautiful.
started.
These are the golden red. They have dragons on each face. And right when Benjamin started this, we bought everybody in my gaming group a set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So Kristen's are orange.
These were my first really premium.
Ooh, those are so pretty.
Yeah, Randy's got his blue ones.
I'm sad that we don't carry those anymore.
Yeah, these aren't in the shop anymore, sadly. We've kind of evolved to a different set.
Yeah.
Same retail problems as always, where the price goes up or the manufacturer does something you don't like and you gotta switch it up. But
yeah,
you know, you never forget your first.
Yes, and that's what started us in this business, is those things you just saw. I said, these are so pretty, and I couldn't find anywhere that carried them, right? Like, I saw them, but I could not buy them unless I bought them in bulk to sell, and I said, worth it. Right, and so...
You said I could buy one for myself, or I could buy 50, keep one.
And that's how it started, and
And Eldorado Gaming was born.
Eldorado Gaming was born, and so
That's
and
awesome.
these guys got in on the conventions, and yeah, and so it's been 4 years since we started Eldorado Gaming. I had all the Chessex dice and stuff before that, and the spin downs from Magic, but since starting Eldorado Gaming, it's just exploded because even though we only sell metal, there are some pretty plastic ones and stone ones and all sorts of stuff, and like our niche is metal, and that's great when we go to conventions because not a lot of people are doing that, and we found them to be very sturdy, right? My daughter, we got her a set of peridot dice, and
oh, cool, yeah,
and they're beautiful, but one fell off a table and broke because stone dice can split in half, and that's never happened to our metal dice. So
I tell that to people at cons all the time. I say, listen, you can obviously buy your wood or your glass or your precious metals and stuff,
stones,
but but then you roll them and they're gonna break because those are showpieces, those are display pieces.
Yeah, and it's worth having a
dice,
set,
but if you want to actually use them on the table, you should go metal or plastic.
Yeah, and obviously it's really hard to have a set of plastic that really gets you the way a nice metal set does. Just feels so heavy.
Oh yeah.
Just the.
Oh my god, Benjamin, do you need an ambulance?
No, I dropped
it for the audio listeners out there.
I dropped it into a dice tray, so that it's safe. But yeah, it's just there's so much gravitas in a metal die. I do have this one. It's a bone dice. It's made out of buffalo bone. It's
cool.
I use that one sometimes too, but I mean even this isn't gonna last as long as a metal die will. So I use it as a counter or whatever. But it's so yeah. There's the plastic ones when I'm like if I want to play Warhammer or something where I'm rolling 30 dice at a time.
Yeah.
Then I'll use the Chessex dice but whenever I have one critical roll that I need to make, then I like to pull out the metal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of cool sets, some sets with sentimental value. When I was in college and I had just completed the first year with my then girlfriend, now wife, I took an old ring box from high school that my class ring came in, and I put this 20-sided die in it. It's her favorite colors, purple and blue, that kind of dark teal color. And I put it in that ring box, and I said, happy anniversary. This year has meant so much to me. And I got down on one knee, and she didn't know what it was yet, of course. I got down on one knee and opened it. It's got this die in it, and I said, will you play Dungeons & Dragons with me?
And she's like, oh, thank God, I'm going to marry him.
She said, well, that's a tough bargain to pass up, Wink.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, and I kind of did the little skit with just the D20, but I did get her a full set, this full set in here. It's got your 7 main Dungeons & Dragons dice, but then I threw in a couple of extra D6s in there, just so she could roll for starting stats if she ever played in that way, which is what we used to do back then. Also in college, it might have been because my first D20 was gone, but I just felt like I needed a new one, and I went to Nan's Comics in Houston, and I got this die. It's red and blue swirls kind of throughout, and I named him Kal-El because he looks like Superman. And then for a while, whenever I would play with Derek, he would always ask to borrow Kal-El while we were playing. So that die is special to me. I also have some dice that my parents got me from their vacation to Vegas. These 2 Vegas D6s. They have the matching numbers on them. These are different. These are just from a trip to Louisiana. They're called the Belle of Baton Rouge. They have the matching number, so they were manufactured, and then they have the matching number 3399 on both of them. So these dice can only be rolled together, and then same as all casinos, I don't know what the criteria are, but once they get used a certain number of times, they get shelved to be souvenirs. So
Yeah.
who knows? So I have these from the Belle of Baton Rouge, and I have these from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
Nice.
I rolled damage for a greatsword for many years using these Vegas dice.
Yeah.
I went through a phase in high school and college where I was always a barbarian with a greatsword. Just because greatswords actually have I think in third edition they had a higher crit range. But anyway, so that was those. I have already showed off my first set from Eldorado Gaming, my red and gold metal dice, but I'll put those up on the camera again.
Very nice.
And like Benjamin was saying, they've got that heft, that weight to them. They're super heavy to roll, and it just feels great to see that big shining number look back at you. You know, it's awesome. Randy, do any of your dice have sentimental value? Anything special in your collection?
I mean, sentimental wise, I mean, you know, there's like the ones that y'all have gotten for me over the years. I think I showed them already. Oh wait, here we go. I think it was another one that you got me.
Yeah,
Nice, big, right here for scale. Normal, and then a nice big jumbo one. This is just solid metal.
So Benjamin, what do you think is the size for that one? You know the sizes of dice better than I do.
So the big ones are the 33 millimeter, and yeah, I'll kind of. So we've got.
I don't think this one's as big as yours though.
Oh well.
So it might be in the middle. It might be 28.
That's all I was thinking. Was 28.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we have some 28s in our inventory too. Yeah, the story behind that solid metal D20 is pretty funny. I picked it up at Montag's Games in Pearland, just because I needed a quick birthday gift for Randy, and you know he's my D&D buddy, so I got him this solid metal mirror finish D20. It's very heavy, but it's super dense and very heavy. Well, the guy behind the counter pulls out a thin like paper lunch bag, and he takes this die in 2 fingers and throws it into the bag. Well, he forgot that it was really heavy, and it popped straight through the bag onto the ground.
See, and look, because they're metal, not a chip, not a ding.
Yeah, not a chip, not a scratch, no nothing. So that turned out really cool. I'm glad that it's still in your collection.
Yeah, of course. I used to keep it at work. I would put it on my desk at work for a while, just as like a paperweight, good luck kind of thing. Yeah. Now I keep it usually on my desk here at the house
as a way to get people to ask, "Hey, what's that on your desk?"
I'll be like, "All the waifu stickers? Oh, the dice,
the dice."
Yes.
Oh, Randy, you're my special boy.
Yeah.
A favorite current set that you use? Which set do you probably use most often, like in the present day right now? What's your dice of choice right now?
Kind of hard to see on camera. They're much more see-through in person.
Whoa!
They have kind of like gold flake inside of them.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like a aqua teal. It's not really showing up as well. It's much darker on camera.
Yeah, I like that sharp edge on those. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, the sharp edge is
the
really
sharp
nice
resin edge, the gold flecks inside, dude. That is beautiful.
Yeah. So and they're just like a resin, plastic, whatever, but they're pretty neat, and they came in a nice little.
Those are the ones that came in the vial.
Yeah.
Did you get those at a con?
Okay.
Yeah, I bought them at a con.
Cool.
The logo's here, but competitive. But
take that, competitors. Benjamin, you got a favorite set?
Yeah, I've got 2. So I think I already showed the ones with the 1 ring in them. So like they're also sharp edge, and so I don't know. Let's see if I can get the 1 ring to come into focus there. Maybe it'll see it better in the D20. But I mean the ring is kind of suspended inside the
Man, that's still so cool.
It does
I
not
see
want
a
to
yellow
focus on
ring.
it.
The audio listeners are having a hoot with this episode.
Right?
They're having a great time.
If you are an audio listener, stop it. Come look at our pretty faces. Come on. Let's see if this will. Oh,
I see
I
the
saw
upside down 5.
oh.
Benjamin said, "I saw it for a second."
I thought it focused. What happened? Okay. Anyways, so these are really cool in person. Whatever. And then I have these liquid core. They're also. I'm a big sucker for sharp edged dice, and one of the ones. I think the guys don't like this one as much, but I really like this D4. That's actually like a lopsided D8, where.
I like that one. I've seen you use it a few times.
Shake it, and you can kind of see the sparkly stuff moving around inside and stuff. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So these are all sharp edge liquid core dice. Now, I wouldn't necessarily roll these. I don't know how the liquid core affects their anything, and I don't really care. I use them as counters because they're pretty.
Yeah.
But now I will say this: unless you are gambling, in which case you need the casino dice that are clearly see-through, that you can tell there's no bubbles or whatever. Unless you're gambling, your dice are fair enough. All the people asking us,
yeah,
like now metal dice are not going to have air bubbles in them. So if you really care about that, metal dice are a good way to do that, and especially hollow dice where you can see that there's nothing inside are a good way to kind of ensure that. But like the amount of that these sparkles are going to change the rolling does not matter over the course of a game.
The distribution percentage over the course of your lifetime. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what it is, guys. I have not got into the sharp edged resin. That's just not something that like really calls out to me. I don't know. I'm much more drawn to designs in the dice. Where when each face has like some type of intricate design. The dice that I have been using, and I love talking about these dice at cons, this is an Eldorado Gaming set. I have been using the hollow Kraken dice.
Ooh, yeah.
Where the corner of each die is a Kraken's head, and then the tentacles extend from the Kraken's head to form the sides.
Mm-hmm. I feel like no one's looking at them because everybody's looking at the cat.
Sorry.
At Randy's cat. Hello, Mr. Business.
Yeah, Mr. Business.
But yeah, these are really my favorite set right now. I've been using them in our Pathfinder game because my character is a merfolk swashbuckler who uses a whip. So I think that the tentacles are a great bit of flavor, another way for me to connect with that character. So I really have been enjoying the Randy. Nothing fell. It wasn't me. I've really been enjoying connecting with my character on that level. Yeah, really cool. And the numbers are super easy to read on this one.
Yeah,
because they're red with like a gold outline. So, which does make them very easy to read.
Yeah, that's something we kind of learned the hard way with Eldorado Gaming. Is at first we were so into the designs that some of them turned out to be hard to read in certain lighting, and so we've really moved towards making dice easier to read. And the Kraken ones are a good example of that, where the numbers are real clear, even though it's a highly stylized die.
Yeah, when we go to cons, often the lighting is really amazing. If you're selling jewelry or, anything really shiny, it certainly gets people to the table. But then they start saying, I can't read these dice.
Right.
And what actually happens is when you're playing at your kitchen table, there is only one source of nearby lighting. And they will be easier to read. But anyway, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Before we end today's episode, I've got to know y'all's favorite sets from Eldorado Gaming. Which ones do we provide that is on your wish list or that you have that you really love.
Yeah, okay. So I have these are the Crystal Cavern.
I think that's right. The Crystal Caverns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
So
get them
it's just
closer.
got like a little resin band. If it'll focus. Come on, you almost had it there for a second.
Oh well, it's
Yeah.
metal with the resin
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
Yeah, with like a resin band through it.
I
And,
love that particular
each
set
one's
because
got a
each
little
die
different
is a
color.
different color. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then and this one's nice looking too. If it'll pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always makes me think of Thanos' Infinity Stones, where you have your 7 dice and each one's a different color. Oh, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And they got a nice like mirror finish to them.
We have those in a few different colors. I'll make sure to put the options on the video. So if you're looking and you see a color that you like, EldoradoGaming.com. Promo code META for 10%. Or you can join our Patreon for 20% off. Benjamin, do you have a favorite set from Eldorado?
Yeah, so my favorite are the Hollow Dragon figure dice. They're a set of black metal. They have gold numbers on them. They're hollow, but on the inside is a white dragon, and so you can kind of see this dragon from any direction. But unlike some of the other hollow dice, like Travis was showing the hollow Kraken dice, where the designs are on the outside, this has the design in the middle of the die. And so it's a very thin kind of filigree outline with the figure on the inside. And to me, they're just amazing. And I love how the white dragon kind of pops with the black metal and the gold numbers. They're really cool. If you're looking for something that you can play with, I love that, they're metal, so you're not really worried about breaking them. And the design part is inside, so it's safe from getting nicked and stuff. So it'll look great while you're rolling your dragon dice, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And to me, that's one of the coolest sets we have. Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I just recently kind of did the photo shoots for those dice and had a lot of... It was certainly a challenge, and I certainly learned a lot about photography, getting in there and getting close and getting those figures. But the pictures did come out really well. So once, they should be
They're
on the
up.
website.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, they're up. So the dice I want to talk about are called our Guardian dice. We have several varieties of the Guardian dice, but like I was mentioning earlier with the Krakens, I love our dice that have designs on the face, and our Guardian dice have this Art Deco style that I really love. They're really blocky, rectangular, sharp points, crisp numbers that are easy to read, and I just think they're really cool because they almost look like a bunch of interlocking gears have come in to create these dice. So to me, they evoke the dwarves from Dragon Age or the Dwemer from
Elder
Skyrim.
Scrolls.
Yeah, from Elder Scrolls. The dwarves in Lord of the Rings have the same style too. But
If you're playing a dwarf, buy these dice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If you are playing a dwarf, then you should really check out the Guardian dice. So, guys, that's us sharing why we think dice are just cool. You know, we all started as a little fledgling role-playing gamer, and then over time, you invest in the games you like. You know, Benjamin has a whole episode called "You Should Be Grateful Your Hobby's Expensive," where he talks about, we invest money in the things we enjoy. Yeah. And if dice are something you like, then we find ourselves investing money in them. We evolve into a dice goblin. We evolve into dice dragons. And the horde of dice must always be growing. You know, once you have the dice, you start looking for the storage for your dice. On my honeymoon, I bought this box from the Bahamas. A nice wooden box with a velvet interior that holds all my dice, and I can use this side as my rolling tray. Like, there's no end to the depths of your hobby. You know, your hobby will probably extend as deep as you want it to be. And if you are into role-playing games and if you're into dice like these, we hope that El Dorado is a pit that you can fall into.
Yeah. Now, I will say what got me into being a dice goblin, and this is kind of a word of wisdom too, if we're going that direction.
Sure. Yep.
Is that it's not just about the dice, right? Like, you can just take a random D6 that you find in a Monopoly game or whatever. And in fact, I do have some of those, right? The ones from Risk, the ones from Monopoly, right? Just basic dice, and they will work for whatever game you want to play, right? Yeah. But what got me into different kind of dice, I actually started. I was really into Risk as a kid, and I bought a set of wooden dice from like a woodworking set or something like that, and painted them, and because I wanted some attacker dice and some defense dice, and it suddenly became when friends came over and we could either play with the regular dice or we could play with the cool dice I made, and suddenly, and I still have those dice. They're downstairs. I wish I'd brought them up to show on this show. But I suddenly realized that dice were a form of self-expression that you could play in every game. Like, it's kind of hard to express yourself in Monopoly, but you can if you're using cool dice, right? It's like when you're playing D&D, the players around you, they don't see your character sheet. They don't see, right? You're kind of holding that. They might look over and you've got a bunch of scribbles on it, but it's not a way to express yourself in the way that bringing out, like, oh, I'm a bard and I'm going to cast an attraction spell. Let me bring out this flowery pink die, right? Or I'm about to cast a fireball. Let me bring out like my fiery red dice, right? Like, and that's something that you can do that the table sees, that adds to the experience and makes it feel magical or dark or light or power or whatever it is expressed in the mode of the game. And I would play Axis and Allies, and where you're rolling tons of dice for attack, and I didn't want boring dice. I wanted lucky dice. I wanted special dice. I wanted dice that I could differentiate between, these are my tanks and these are my planes, so I could roll them at once, which required different dice. And so just the way that you could express yourself with dice was something I found really special really early on. And even though I left a lot of my dice behind for my brother to steal, I picked it back up again when I started building up my game collection after I got married. That adding dice to the collection was a very early start to that. So, we didn't just sit here and gush about dice just to sell stuff on Eldorado Gaming. It's something that we all have experienced as a way to express ourselves and has added to our gaming experience. We bond over them. He has a story. They have stories to tell as they give gifts and talk about, this die never rolled over a 10. This die broke a bag. This, I proposed. He proposed. This die
broke a table.
He proposed with a die, right? Like, will you play Dungeons and Dragons with me? That's something very special. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very few gaming pieces that are so versatile and also can be that cool, right? And like you said, storage then becomes a way to express yourself. Like candle holders and boxes. Like he can be reminded of his honeymoon every time he goes gaming. Things like that. So I encourage you that if you're looking for, like, if you've gotten into gaming, you're not necessarily a beginner anymore, and you're looking for a way to level up, that is one of the easiest ways to do it, right? Go buy a set of dice that no one else in your gaming group has, and say, I'm ready to roll here. And you can be clacking them around while people wait. You can be, and I notice when they bring out big dice, it's a cool
Kristen
experience.
always likes to stack hers.
Yeah.
Kristen likes dice that stack.
Yeah.
That's the engineer in her.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
That's one of the reasons I like the sharp face ones, because you can do that so easily.
Oh yeah. I like the Challenger. I get these D10s that have rounded edges.
The worst.
Say have fun stacking. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Benjamin, how can people become patrons?
they can go to www.patreon.com/mymythicalmeta.
Randy, how can people send us an email directly to ask questions, to make suggestions, or to direct us towards news from the warfront?
It's been a while. Is it eldoradogaming@gmail.com?
Yay!
Or mymythicalmeta@gmail.com?
Oh.
It's mymythicalmeta@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to email,
Benjamin wasn't for sure.
no, yeah, because if you want to email Eldorado Gaming, you need to do info@eldoradogaming.com.
Yeah, and I'll put all of those on the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Benjamin, Randy, thank you guys for being my great friends. Adios.
Bye.
Later.
This episode was sponsored by Eldorado Gaming. Use the promo code META for 10% off your order. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This episode was edited by me, Travis Konishek, and our intro and outro music is by Tyler Heath of the Oh Hellos.